Action required. Just a minute. Pause. Hey, good evening, guys. Ken at Tortoise Capital. We have a Creativity 202, Lesson 6 check-in. It is Tuesday night, April 4th, 2023. And everything's going well here. I've been busting my hump on the Koala Writer AI software that sits on top of Chat GPT-4, but also connects to Google and Amazon search terms, so it gives me up to date, like trending information. And I got to tell you, it's been revelatory. I have been writing essays on the way I think about routine matters. Like, I'm a systems thinker. I mean, I got a master's in it, and I've been doing it for 30 years. But I asked it to write a summary of the field of systems thinking and make sure that it hits the highlights of some of the foundational thinkers and the different modes and methods, just as a way to refresh my own memory about what I think it is that I know. And so I've been doing that for systems thinking, critical thinking, my various, investing strategies and whatnot. And it is astonishing how good that thing really is. I asked it, hey, somebody asked me to take a look at writing improvement courses for the college and try to put something together for our officers. I said, hey, GPT-4, what are the best free online college improvement or college writing improvement for college freshmen? It gave me, in 2 minutes, it gave me 2,000 words with 25 different programs offered for free by tier 1 universities, including Harvard, Stanford, Princeton, and Yale. And I sent a note up to our headquarters and I said, hey, here's a list of 25 resources that all do it better than our college does. And ChatGPT-4 asked me to ask you, why do we wait till officers arrive here, discover they can't read or discover they can't write, and then give them a poor solution? It wants to know why that's our strategy. So I'm not very popular with the people up at the headquarters, but that's sort of how you get things done around there. Shame and sarcasm, healthy dose of cynicism too. But everything's good here. Winter is definitely over. It was in the high 70s today, out of nowhere. So I feel like spring's upon us. Grass is green, and everything's good here. Aho, Luke, how you doing down yonder?
Yeah, all good down here. Now we've lost daylight saving. Everything's 2 hours ahead. So, yeah, just getting used to that. And the kids go on school holidays from Thursday. So, yeah, just hanging around and catching up on some work and trading. So, yeah, all good here.
Very good. And Ed, how we doing?
Doing all right. Little rough stop dealing with the family and myself. My daughter's over here harassing me with her. She's learning the first thing about being injured at work. So we're filling out paperwork. So we're doing that. And other than that, doing okay. I can't complain. Like I said, it's a beautiful warm day. If you got 70 in Kansas, we got it. We got about 75. It's like 75 over here in Long Island. So it was a beautiful day today. Really, really.
Yeah, it's coming your way, that's for sure.
Yeah, brother. No, you can keep that rain stuff though.
Yeah.
That's coming.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go ahead and hit the tones and move us into the session, and off we go. Luke.
Yeah, so for this one, I focused on the trader questions and really just noticed that they were very similar answers to the last time I did this lesson, but when we get to the beliefs questions, I feel like I was able to answer that in more detail. So the powerful sources of motivation that are pulling me forward, they're just the normal things, I think, for everyone, just supporting family, getting some goals ticked off, and to, I guess, finance some of the bucket list things that we want to get done in our life. And that's the same answer would be to the question, what are the powerful forces that are compelling me to leave my current status quo? It was very similar to last time. I wanted to not sideline my accounting practice, but work out how I can transition to more full-time trading. What beliefs am I prepared to adopt? And I think doing this process, it's making sure that I don't hold any beliefs concrete, that I constantly ask myself, are these beliefs helpful and are they useful to my trading? So in terms of answering this question, any belief is fine. Nothing will hold me to stay just focused just on that one belief. I've got to have a growth mindset and a scout mindset in terms of the belief. If this belief is not working and the results are showing that it's not working, then I might need to put that belief under a spotlight to make sure that it's useful. Yeah. What beliefs am I willing to drop? That's a hard one to answer. And then I went back to it this morning and I thought one belief that I constantly have all the time is trading outside what I consider normal trading times to trade my Forex system. And that might be 2.5 hours before the US session opens. I think that belief is I'm too tired to trade. And I don't think the system actually works that well around that time. And also my belief is I shouldn't really be entering trades during the dead zone that I call it, between the Asian close or sort of close time to when the London session opens. That's very it's not very volatile. It's very sideways. And if I can work out a system to trade that, great. But it also gives me some time to have a bit of a break to reset for the next session. So the next question, what beliefs must I hold on to with all my strength and identity? Some of them aren't really beliefs, but if I really delved into it, I think some of them would be beliefs. And a lot of it is sayings from Ken that have come from all the bar trading, the reviews, charts, and just general understanding of psychology, system, and money. Some of them are being a grinder when it comes to trading. Re-entry is the key to sanity. The next trade is the next in the set of 1,000. My trading system is just made up of its R multiples. I'm really just a data collector. Understanding execution risk. A 0.4 loss can be reframed to a 0.6 gain. So readjusting my thinking of risk. The belief of ruthless risk management and how I understood that a lot more at the live trading workshop when Kim Anderson was talking about that and her presentation on that, which was fantastic. The belief that execution is easy, anyone can do that, but it's all the other factors that come in to screw your performance up. The monkey who gets involved in terms of when you're in that floating around in the trade of it's not actually taken off yet, but it's starting to falter, and what you do when that's involved. And also the belief that assessment, plan, and prepare need to have more focus than just executing. And another belief is that I'm simply just following the process I always follow. I'm a process-oriented trader. The markets determine the outcome. I have little control over that. I have faith. I believe that my process will carry me through the highs and the lows of trading. Another belief is that in terms of the way Ken trades and the way he's taught us, that it's all fractal and it's on any time frame and on any market, on any system. So in terms of that, we just need to work out which ones we want to trade. Another belief is to trust the PISA. And when I look at my chart markups at the end of the day, more often than not, I will say to myself, I really should have just trusted the PISA. Another belief is mistakes. And Van would say to be a super trader, you need to be 95% accurate. And in terms of mistakes, how much are they adding up to? And I can't say that I'm 95% efficient. I look at it at the end of the day and think, I overrode that one. I overrode that trade, and why did I do that? It might be a timing issue. It might be I needed to leave the office, so I set something. So I can't actually say I'm there yet. So that's something to work towards. Another belief is wins and losses. Got to treat them symmetrical. You can't be 10 times sad about a loss and then 100 times grateful that you've had an 8-hour day or a 10-hour day. Got to be symmetrical and make sure that you're pushing forward in terms of the learning. Another belief is being consistent with the trading, not being intense for a short amount of time. One brick at a time, time will pattern money, lather, rinse, repeat. They're the main beliefs that I have to make sure that I've got the process in line to keep my trading going. Who are my go-to reliable risk managers? Well, it's the personas that I put on during the day. I always mark my chart ups the morning after, and it's the accountant who tallies up the wins and losses at the end of the day. And then I can separate that between the executioner who is actually putting the trades on and should just be following the process. And as long as there's bullets left and there's time or pattern of money and I can get to the zero state, then I'll just keep going. And I grew up with Kenny Rogers because my dad used to play that all the time. And I can't tell you how many times I've heard the Gambler song. And every time I hear that, I hear something different. And when I was a kid, I never really understood it because I wasn't gambling. But in terms of that song, is in terms of being the executioner, you never count your money when you're sitting at a table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. So in terms of that, it's separating it between, in terms of trading, the executioner and the data collector at the end of the day, the assessor. Who helps me sniff out danger in time? Well, it's always the news guy. There's always a news guy in the back of my mind working out, making sure that I'm not putting trades on 1 second before an RBA announcement like yesterday. So I just stayed out of trading yesterday. I needed to focus more on work. And I don't like trading when those big news announcements are coming, even if it's put into the price that we weren't going to have an interest rate rise. It's just too dicey. And some days might be great. Some days they might not be good at all. And it's more of an anomaly when you actually put that into your histogram. If I remember, I think it was May last year when the interest rate rose, and me and another trader had a trade on. We were long hours before, but then it went up to 10R and we just took it. And that I feel like that's going to skew the R histogram to put that one in, because it could have just as well been a 10R loss. It could have been slipped, could have been whipsawed. So in terms of those days, sniffing out the danger, I will just stay out of the whole day and trade something that's not paired with the Australian dollar. Where is my source of enthusiasm but calibrated optimism? podcasts, I would say. I just don't have the time to listen to the hours and hours and hours of podcasts that come out at the moment. I wish there was a way that ChatGPT could do a 5-minute review on their podcast, but put it in the just do the snippets of that. Because listening to podcasts that go for 2 hours on 2 hour speed, that you can't do that. The longevity of doing that is just not there. I just don't. I was doing that before, but it's to keep doing that. I just don't think that's worthwhile. What else was there? What do I give away without any sort of payback? I've talked to some people who have started to do Ken's things in Australia, and Ken will forward me an email and say, "Would you mind talking to these people?" Yep, sure, no worries. And I can talk about it till the cows come home because there's no time limit in terms of talking about trading, and I can just keep talking about it. So in terms of that, I'll just give away what I've learned, give away what I need to learn more on. But I'm more than happy to talk about that, and I don't feel like I need to get anything in return. What was my most pleasant surprise in trading? I think it goes unappreciated how much trading is benefited from time and location freedom. You can work out what session you want to trade. You can do that basically from anywhere with a reliable Wi-Fi. And in terms of that, you can work out where you want to do it. Like I can do it in the office, and and home's only 3 minutes away. So in terms of that, you can basically do it wherever you want. I think that's not new, but I think it's also something that's happened in the last 3 to 4 years where it's becoming more easier to do. Who makes me think, even if I don't take their advice every time? I listened to the other session and I thought that was great. It's always Ken, trading the 30-minute chart and doing the review on that in the podcast. Because you guys are just sport for choice over there in terms of trading the US session. So that is something that I don't take advice from because I can't actually trade that consistently. But that's really good advice for the people who can trade those charts. Who had reliably different points of view in your circle of trust? They're not in my circle of trust, but someone that comes to mind is a trader who trades live on Telegram. He trades the DAX and the FTSE, sometimes the NASDAQ, and that's when the London session opens. And in terms of the way he trades, he just trades price action with no technicals really. And it's interesting to see what he has to talk about because he's more talking about market structure and talking about what's happening in the European, German stock exchanges. And then I will use that sometimes to work out where the market is going, but I will still trade my normal strategies. And that's probably about all for me this week. But yeah, my work in progress is still working out this system. I'll have some time in the next couple of weeks when we're on holidays to put some more system parameters together, do some back testing on it, and then working out how to adopt that into TradingView. And we are still waiting for one of the brokers over here to have raw spreads on TradingView to be able to actually trade from the chart, because at the moment I'm trading on a different platform for putting the trades on, which makes it difficult to put in the position sizing effectively. So looking forward to that. They said it was going to be done by the end of March. So hopefully by the end of April, we'll have something ready to go and make it much easier to trade. I hope.
Hey, I'm on lesson 4. Um, win this battle and not the last one. And it's been going through this from once again. It's been always I always take these lessons and kind of make them personal, not just on the trading aspect, but on my life aspect because of the few things that I'm going through. And it's always a nice, I guess, nice. I want to say, yeah, nice way of reflecting because it's something I haven't really done as I was a younger kid. You know, I was young and full of vim and vigor. You know, you just would just attack things and not, you would go out and attack the world and you didn't care. You just, not worrying about it is not worrying about what the repercussions were or what happened. You just, because you were always, I was always able, I don't know about anybody else, but I was always able to recover very quickly from a unplanned hack battle or something that I was doing, whether it was working on the car or just doing something. So I was able to recover very, very quickly. This time I looked at and I was sitting there going with Hannibal, and it really, really hit me this time because now I'm in a more of a different state of what I can do or what I'm dealing with. And um doing things differently or attacking something similar and expecting it to do exactly what it did last time. Um, I'm not able to do that anymore, and it's a good thing because it's now waking me up to now learn to really, really adjust and assess. Where before I would not assess about what I was doing. I wasn't planning a lot of different things. It was haphazard, whether it was in business deals or just in life in general. It wasn't really me planning behind it. So, in like I said, in dealing with like Hannibal got his butt kicked, to make the long story short. And, some days I felt like that too, where I'm now back and I'm looking at different things. And I was like, okay, I can't handle that way. How am I going to win this battle? Or is it actually a battle in my mind? Sometimes you call it a battle and to make it a lot more anxiety for me than necessary. So it's more of, I think, you instead of it being a battle, be a challenge that I have to work at battling something. And believe me, there's days when I'm battling and I know I just can't or just doesn't fit with me right now because it's difficult, very, very difficult in addressing that issue with just my own life challenges. So I look at it as a challenge that I need to address and how at the below age of 53, how do I readdress some of these same challenges, but also they're new challenges. They're similar, but not the same. So as I'm addressing now, having to address things with family members, and I'm actually having to sit down and face them like, okay, well, this is easy. Where I can throw, $1,000 at this. This is nothing. Like, yep, can't do that because yeah, you got to throw the money at it, but what's going to be the outcome of after you do that? What's going to be the outcome? I really now have to sit down and plan, or let's say plan, but assess exactly what I'm doing now. Slowing me down is a good thing, and I'm not doing things happen. I'm actually really starting to think more forward with this now than I've ever done in my life. Um, Things are changing, and just like the market, things change in a whim, and life changes on a whim for the same reason or similar reason. And I can't I can't do the same things at 53 that I would do at. It just doesn't work. Of course, like I said, I don't recover that much anymore, financially or physically. So it does tend to put a little wake up call. I guess that there was a what they say that saying that youth is wasted on the youth. I guess there's a saying like that, where when you're young, when you're older, you're a lot more wiser, and you're sitting back and you're going, wait a minute. no, that doesn't make sense. Don't do it that way. Hold it. Let's reassess this because now I'm fighting a battle that I, look soon like, wait a minute, I've been down this road once before. So let's try to readjust that. So that's where I got with this one. And then there's go like um carrying that kind of over into like one of my core or what are the battles and can't go back, or at least I wouldn't go back too far. As a kid growing up in the 70s and the 80s, growing up in the United States, we kind of grew up under the fear. Remember, having bomb drills and things like that going under the desk. And it just one of the things that really, really caught my attention, even though it's propaganda. Propaganda machine is so vast, so big, no matter where it's coming from. It's that driving thing where it comes to that are creating some of these conflicts and things like that. And I just wish that that machine or we could actually do something instead of uh, spreading this propaganda, spread some love for something. I mean, just say, hey, these people over here, they're just loving people, and these people over here are loving people. Let's get together. No, no, don't like that one because he's got sneakers on. Don't like that one because he's wearing a headdress. Don't like that one because they're black. I don't like that one. Enough, And so that's to me one of those conflicts that as far as a war tool that has been used in every war that I can honestly think of that I can go into history. Always been propaganda. And that's just one tool I really wish we can get a hold of and pull back and just press and really love people for who they are and where they are. Because there's so much vast beautifulness. And I'm actually looking at it like, wow, oh my God, holy shoot. I actually can see it now. It's a, hey man, when you're grinding, that grinding thing, and it's like, I don't want to do that no more. I actually really want to enjoy the world. So, this was a really good eye opener as far as that go. And then the um, the ready state, or getting back into the ready state in life and in trading. I'm learning that more and more every day because today I had just in trading alone, I was setting up. The last couple of days I was setting up a trade with it, and I trade so quick, so I just okay, done. We'll leave that alone. So I wrote down what questions I had, called my accountability partner, and I said, "Oh, look, I got a question. This is not working the way because this is a change. This is something that I can do, but using a new system I haven't done before. How do we adjust this? How do I, get this?" And I put that aside and I went to something else. Didn't freak out. Didn't do nothing. Say, okay, a sensei says his daughter does. He tap those legs and let's go. Done. It's done. It's over with. I'm not going to freak out about it. I'm just going to go on to the next thing. And that's what I did. And I'm learning to do that more with with life and family. Hey, you know what? There's things I cannot not say can't deal with. I cannot let them get to me. This is how I deal with it, and that's it. On to the next thing. Okay, we did that. Going to the next thing. So we got that battle out of the way. We're going on, or that challenge out of the way. Not that challenge out of the way. Let's go on to the next one. Or okay, how do we address this challenge? If we can't move on to it, then that means I gotta sit back. Let's go back to my basics. Let's go to plan, prepare, ready, execute, assess, and then we're gonna take it. And I kind of had to do that with a family member where he had major back surgery, and things were changing on the fly because it was just like, okay, we're doing this. Oh, that changed. Okay, wait a minute. Oh no, we can't do this. Hold it. I gotta make a phone call. We have to adjust this and this. And when you're dealing with someone's life like that, and you're going, wait a minute, and but it was for me, it was such a noticeable thing where I just like, hey man, I'm not freaking out. Why? And you might think it's crazy, but this little square that I got on my computer, plan, prepare, ready, execute, and assess. That's what learned. I got that from the foundations. And I'm actually putting that into my life every day. That little saying right there. And it's like it's so much, it's worked for me so well. And I'm actually not trying. I'm actually going to work on with that because it helped me. So I think I can pass that on to the kids. Let's see how that works. And that's what I got out of that lesson today. But I hope
really appreciated, Luke, your comments on the different mindsets and, what hat we're wearing that's governing the activity, the scout or the manufacturer, the shop foreman, the efficiency versus the effectiveness, and just the idea of the daily grind, the first trade of the next 1,000. I mean, that's so important. Let's think about just checking the work palette at the end of the day is sort of the source of satisfaction. Just going to, yeah, I made my pallet today, of whatever, bricks I'm stacking. Yeah, and then the, your note about talking to the guys in Australia, and I hated doing that to you too. But there's almost no way around it, and there's actually there's a moral lesson in there, about leading a horse to water, but you got to hold his head under. I mean, there's trading and there's talking about trading, and you just, at some point you just got, it's tough, especially when you know that if they just did what you did, it'd be okay, but you just can't make them. You just can't make them do it. You got to respect them, and so that's why I just, I don't worry about. Well, what if they steal your stuff? But I don't even freaking just look. If they're the kind of person that would just take somebody else's stuff, they're not the kind of person that can trade the way we trade, and so they're just going to come to disaster and they'll reap what they sow. So I've learned not to worry about that. And then Eddie, your point about it was a lot easier when we're younger and we had more slack and things weren't mission critical to recover from things. But as you get older and your plans get more complex and you got more invested in each one, the margin of error starts reducing at some point. And then the idea of the tap and go, just let's go. It occurred to me as a series of icons that the the process looks something like, divergent thinking, exclamation point, convergent thinking, check mark. The reflection is done, and now, everything's laid out on the table. It's not done until you do three things, and that is, next step, question mark. I am prepared to work, period, and let's go, exclamation point. There's a certain grim finality about those three steps, that the reflection on things is just talking about it. I mean, it's an awareness. You got to think about things too, but not to be confused with action. It's a precondition for effective action, I think. But you have to move into the the third column of the 4-column learning journal. There's the aha moment, there's the reflection. Those are the fun parts. Deciding what to do next. And why is that the next best thing to do? So there's a skill in that. What's the next best thing that I can do that has the biggest payoff? And that gets us to thinking about critical path. And how do I cut away everything that's not essential? And then do my best or do good enough on the next step on the critical path. And the reminder that, things that are not worth doing are not worth doing well. That's a waste of resources at some point. That really struck me. I had a ego problem late last week. I just get so cranky. So I generate a ton of work at work. I mean, I got initiatives moving and writing lessons and helping people out and making connections. And I was exchanging an email with a guy at Purdue who's the dean of their forces initiative up there. This is the engineers up at the Boilermakers there in Purdue. And they are modeling the flow of military forces in the world using the functions of thermodynamics and turbulence and hydraulics and flow. So they can model things as flows and frictions. And they're doing a really nice job of visualizing and describing and actually even starting to predict the outcomes of large battles, the movement of large forces with, support and resistance, that kind of stuff. And it's astonishing how good it is. And I can't get our college to become interested in that to save my life. I mean, it's just the not invented here syndrome. And that guy, I have turned him on and connected him to a couple other headquarters and other schools in the Army who are embracing him. I connected him with the Air Force and the Navy, and they love him. And everybody but us is doing something with him. It's not dissimilar to what's going on with Fletcher. I just can't get them interested in our own building. We're just so blind. I think it's probably because I'm inside the building, and so they think I'm an idiot, or it's not a big deal because it's just one of our faculty discovered. It's not a big deal. Like if I'd come from 500 miles away, they'd say, "Oh, well, here's an expert from out of town, and now we can do something." So I was trying to explain that to this guy, this dean up at Purdue, and I said, "Look, I said there's a reason why the Army's totem animal is the mule. In many cases, just like trying to drag that animal to victory, and we're still trying. So don't give up on us. We're trying to get going." Now I cleaned that up a little bit when I forwarded it to my boss and a few other people just to show them all of the powerful things that Purdue wants to do with us for nothing. That guy was going to pay his own way just to come down and work with us. That's almost unheard of. And laid out all these things that could be done. And my boss, who's a great guy, sends me a note back and says, "I need you to watch out about being cynical when you're talking about our organization with people on the outside." Because I had called us, I said our totem animal was the mule. And in my mind, I'm thinking, of all the things that I've been writing this whole week and on this whole project, that's what you're keying on? And I wasn't even being cynical. It really was a statement of fact that, hey, and it's kind of funny. Hey, the mule's a hard worker, and sometimes we just got to go at the pace of the organization. But he was concerned about our reputation. Want to make sure and I just said, fuck it. I just wrote his name on a little yellow sticky and put a red circle and a line through it. So, I'm done. I will do exactly as I'm told, but you're not on the team anymore. And things that I used to go out of my way to brief him. So this whole week I've been just a real prick, bitter and grumpy about trivia, But I just, dude, if you're not on the team, you're not on the. You're on the team, you're on. If you're not on the team, just stay. I don't got time for you, and just keep going. And he's going to retire in 6 months, so, good luck, and we'll get the next guy, and I'll be the next colonel that I've had in my 23rd year of service here, and I just kind of reconciled it, maybe it's because the AI is helping me write so fast and so much and get so many good things done. I just decided I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to do what I do. I don't care. And but it did bother me that at age 65 that I can let little irritants like that just move me off my center. And the only way I could do is just redouble my efforts and just try to make sure that I'm not being double careful on what I'm saying. And it doesn't change any of the facts that our college is not acting like a college, that it's not providing resources for everybody. It acts just like a scheduler and leaves things up to us. And then there's no synchronization, no leverage, no coming together in a strategic plan. It irritates me because we're a school that's supposed to be teaching that stuff to our students, how to plan, how to synchronize, how to innovate, and we're just so terrible. I had Chat GPT. Somebody asked me to take a look at our effective writing program. So that's Chat GPT. Hey, find me the best online free college writing programs. It gave me a list of 2 minutes later. It gave me a list of 25 free programs, fully supported from Harvard, Yale, Princeton, MIT, and Stanford, among others. Free to take. I started taking the Harvard one already, and it's got great stuff. It's everything that we need. So I sent that up to the headquarters, and I said, hey, ChatGPT-4 asked me to ask you, why do we wait for officers to come to our school, then discover they can't write, and then give them a poor solution? It just wanted to know. It was curious. And then I realized I'm probably being cynical, and I said, I actually don't care. If he thinks I'm being cynical, at least the email didn't go outside of the college. But it bothers me that at age 65 I can still be so petty, and I have to learn to release that stuff in order to clear the deck and work on other things. On the positive side, that Chat GPT-4 plus the Koala Writer, this is probably the most productive 7 days I've had in years in terms of just output, just getting enormous quantities of things done. Staggering what AI will do for us. So that's my work in progress this week. And Aho. Hey, I have us at 8 o'clock. I want to go ahead and do a quick checkout. I need to go up and let the doggies out and get ready. Try to get this recording and posted by 8:30. I'm going to take a look at what I can do with Dragon. Luke, I checked on Chat GPT to see if it could summarize a video, and it really couldn't. I asked it then if could it make a transcription of a video. It really couldn't. Maybe it's just I got to sort out. I'll ask it if it can do that. I just tried dropping the link in, it didn't do it. But I got a one of the nightly podcasts being transcribed in Dragon, which I know can produce a transcript. The only problem there is its language model will get some things wrong that are technical. But then if I can run that through Chat GPT, there may be a way to start getting summaries of those different sessions. I should probably get an intern to parse the nightly podcasts and just put it into groups, because there's basically 4 parts every night. And that's since the start of the year. It's swing trade, sniper trade, coaching, reports, with an occasional 5th thing in there if I'm doing a lesson or something like that. But yeah, you're right. It was this. That was really the motivation to get Chat anyway, was because all the FAQs from all the courses were getting so large, and there's too much, and it puts me in despair, to be honest, and because I give that to people, and then I get bitter because they don't find the answer that I know is in the FAQ, and then I say, well, that's not fair. There's 500 pages in the FAQ, and it's not organized by theme. It's organized by the questions in the sequence they were asked. So I just got so much dirt in the mountain to convert into little piles of gold. That's what I'm really hoping the GPT will do. And if Stephen has any success building the organizer bot to organize my work, then maybe we'll be able to process that material. So anyway, so that's my checkout. I appreciate you guys. I'll get this published and posted in the. I thought the other guys did a nice job on Sunday morning. There was some definite goodness in there as well. So appreciate you, and maybe see you at 8:30ish or so. Hang in there. Keep up the great work. Uh-oh.